Hello, everybody, and welcome to Crying is a Free Action, a podcast about news and politics around the United States and our home states around the globe. I am joined today with co-host Tommy. Thank you, Tommy, for being here.
Yep, hello.
Al will be here shortly. He is running a couple errands quick, and then he will pick up with us, and we'll go from there. So we are on Sundays now at noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. This just works out so much better for our schedules, pretty much everybody's schedules, it seems like.
Yeah, less trying to crash out, in the middle of our stream.
Out.
So
I'm always crashing out. As always, we are the team behind easyvotend.com, which is a little website I cooked up, and then Tommy has really been helping me polish, where we write some news articles and some opinion pieces and things of that nature. It's where we kind of put this podcast and some other resources. If you're looking for resources in the North Dakota area about how to vote, where to vote, what to vote for, easyvotend.com is your one-stop shop. I also I run Parallax Games in Bismarck, North Dakota. If you'd like to stop by there and patronize me, you are welcome to. Final Fantasy comes out this week, but I won't have any unless you pre-ordered it. So let that be a lesson to you. Always pre-order if you really want something.
yeah,
Especially with us, because you don't have to put any money down, and if you cancel, I don't give a shit. It'll sell.
Yep, it's the best-selling set of all time.
And it
hasn't even come out yet.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
It's crazy. I had a customer stop in yesterday, and they told me, I like the website, and I'm a writer, and I have an idea for an article, and I would like to put it on your website. And I said, cool, shoot me a message. So I'm very excited for that. Other than that, like I said, we're at a new time format here on noon on Sundays. I'm usually not up for another hour, but that's okay. Fighting an authoritarian regime requires sacrifice, and I will sacrifice my sleeping in time on Sundays.
It's all right. We're gonna sleep when we're dead. So
that's right. That's right. Sleep is for the weak.
Well, I'm pretty weak though, so I'm gonna get some sleep.
Yeah, me too.
So.
Me too. I love sleeping. And then also we have figured out some YouTube stuff, and we are going to be putting the audio version on Spotify, which is very exciting. Speaking of Spotify, I heard that Bono schooled Joe Rogan about USAID, and apparently he was way into it. So I might have to actually go watch that.
Yeah, I haven't seen much about it, but Bono has been for the past 30, 40 years, trying to help push
aid to Africa, and got the single largest aid package to Africa in all time with one meeting with George Bush. Yeah, I get why the Irish people are he's insufferable, and I think he even admits it. He's kind of self-serving, but meh, oh yes, we will talk about we are all going to die.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die. That's right.
That lady. What did you think was gonna happen there? So check out easyvotend.com. I have some other projects in the work now that Tommy and Al, they've really been helping out the last week. So I really appreciate that. It's gonna let me work on some other things, and we'll still have the same quality bullshit that we normally do, which is crap. But it's getting better. Okay, I'm going to bring up my little notes thing here. I have a few North Dakota stories I want to go over first. I brought this up last week. This happened when the governor was signing and vetoing bills from our 69th legislative session. He accidentally veto-lined a line on a bill to cancel $35 million in housing assistance for North Dakotans. And it was an honest mistake. It wasn't some weird thing or anything like that. But this is kind of a big deal because the attorney general has to be well, I have to figure out what the law says to see if we have to get the legislators back in to re-sign the law or if we can just correct it. So that's kind of funny that, honestly, big, even earnest mistakes at this level can cost a lot of money because they have to pay all those legislators. And it's like, yeah, they make like $100 a day or something like that, but like, you still have to call them back for a day, and you got to pay their travel and their per diem and all that kind of crap too. So it's not a great mistake to make, but we're getting it fixed.
That's good to hear. Because there's some nice news. For
Right,
once.
right. And for a Republican, I gotta say, Kelly Armstrong has been a pretty decent governor. I, I've only met him once, and it was very briefly and like very informal. So like, I can't really say anything about him as a person. Doug Burgum sucks as a person. I've met him several times.
Yep. Yep.
Actually, that's not true. I think Doug Burgum has the capacity to be a really awesome human, and I think he really is. I also just think he's greedy. So,
I know earlier this week, I know Doug Burgum was like, he was warning that the whoever can win the AI race controls the world.
do you think that's true?
Um, that's a good question.
Yeah, because I'm kind of like, they're just trying to like get this thing as advanced as possible so they can stuff it in a drone, right?
I mean, I think the AI stuff is, it's getting to the point where, we don't know what is real
Right.
and what is fake, and
Right.
I think it's a really big problem.
Yes, yes, it is.
So,
I mean, you and me know what's real and fake, but our
now,
parents don't know what's real and fake.
But it's I don't want to get into like dead internet theory, right? Where it's like, everybody you talk to, always suspecting that everybody's like some kind of AI or some kind of bot nowadays. You're getting comments on social media stuff.
Right.
So it's kind of concerning.
Right.
Right. So, but we'll see. It's a weird one. It's gonna be a very weird one. It's a very weird time for the next 10, 15 years.
And we're gonna talk about internet censorship here in just a few moments.
Oh, that's right.
One of my customers is an engineer who works for the state, and in Bismarck right now there's a big construction project going on east of Bismarck on kind of our main interstate into town. Excuse me.
Yep.
And it sucks to drive in, and there isn't really a way around it. And so the engineer, who is one of my customers who worked on this project, was kind of talking to me about it, and he was like, they want to add another one just a little bit farther east of town. I'm like, oh my god, that'd be great. He's like, but they cost $200 to $250 million. And
That's
like,
crazy.
Holy shit. And I was like, I figured like 20 to 50, because that's still an insane amount of money. But 200 to 250, and we're talking in little old Bismarck, North Dakota, where it's like 4 lanes. Like, it's not a big like with a couple of loops. It's nothing crazy. So, but like, I guess when you think about it, that's a ton of man hours to begin with, and you gotta one. There is no, if you want to make a hill, you got to bring it in, because we ain't got any. It's all flat. So he said,
just get like an overpass just to get just to exit out a slightly different area.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, that's it. And he was like, well, we used to get a grant from the federal government every 5 or 10 years. He's like, but that's probably not ever going to happen again. So
that's challenging.
I want to have him on the podcast at some point. And I told him I wouldn't hardball him too hard the first time. Okay, so we're going to talk about, we talked about the big, beautiful bill last week and how horrible it is. And surprise, surprise, the tax cut in Medicaid will hurt rural hospitals the most. Many rural and large hospitals bill Medicaid as part of their budget because they know they will have patients that use it. The tax cuts that passed the House last week leave huge holes in many budgets for hospitals because they won't have the Medicaid dollars. And this will disproportionately hurt hospitals in North Dakota because we have more people on Medicaid than other places do. So North Dakota is going to lose out on about approximately $100 million or so in funding for Medicaid if it passes in its current form. And Dr. Oz keeps saying, like, oh, these states are creating tax loopholes and stuff to get more money than they should be. But it's literally a 2-to-1 system. That's how it's designed, is that the feds pay in twice what the states pay in, and it's on kind of a sliding scale. So he's like, oh, it's a scam, but like, no, that's how it was literally designed.
Right. That because that's the goal, right? Is America wants hopefully healthy, functional citizens. So as a thing, it used to be just states' issues, right? But the
Right.
state can't produce enough money to take care of those people. That's the whole point of the federal government.
Correct. Is to make
So
up the deficit. Absolutely.
yeah,
So what this is going to end up doing is a lot of these small towns that voted Trump and places like that rely on these little rural clinics, those little rural clinics are going to close. And they're going to consolidate into a big city. So you're going to have to drive for them again anyways.
yeah, that's a big challenge.
It's horrible. There are already problems with transit in North Dakota where, like, the Sanford healthcare system has, like, shuttles that it sends out to little cities, like, occasionally. But that's not emergency services, and, yeah. So, they're not going to... If you call 911, you're still... That's a...
I mean, like, because I lived in a little town in Florida called Key West, which is about a 4 or 5 hour drive to mainland, like Miami. So usually we actually had a smaller hospital over there, Florida Keys, the hospital. Anything kind of big, they had to actually send you, via helicopter if it was big emergencies. So,
Like full-on flight for life.
yeah, and it's
Damn.
going to happen a lot more,
Yep.
in your area. So,
Yep. Alrighty. So there was a nice article on the North Dakota Monitor about that. If you live in North Dakota, you should check out North Dakota Monitor. Coming up next, Greenpeace is arguing that the jury was too punitive in the North Dakota pipeline case, and I think I agree with them. This really is kind of a... So basically it was like 200 million in damages and then 400 million in punitive damage, and it's like you're gonna give oil companies $400 million for literally busting open and like literally paying them to put a pipeline there that we know is gonna break and already has.
yeah.
And so just fuck oil companies, like, all around. That's just my, like, fuck them. Like,
Is North Dakota one of those states where they have like a cap on how much money you can award? Because like
I don't believe so. No, I'm not
Okay,
I'm not a huge expert in like civil and tort law, but no, I don't believe it is.
yeah, because I know that at least in some states, like the
Also,
jury can decide whatever they want.
also, I believe this was a federal court out of Morton County.
Oh, okay. I'm not a lawyer, obviously. That sounds like a terrible job.
Yes. Yes.
But I appreciate all lawyers for the most part, even though I disagree with what they do
I don't.
fundamentally. But yeah, they're necessary at these times.
There are a lot of good lawyers out there. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Good ones out there doing good work for the people, by the people. So, North Dakota to require age verification for pornography sites. They're playing this one kind of by ear, and it's just more nanny state surveillance bullshit. Like, they talk about, like, well, we don't need to ban all this stuff. Parents just need to be parents. But then they're like, oh, wait, being a parent's fucking hard? I guess. I don't know. Like, so I don't
keep
know.
our kids
like,
in school. We wanted to reopen up the states and reopen up the schools because we couldn't handle having to watch our kids during COVID time.
Right.
So, but yeah. So age verification in porn for porn. So is this if you're in porn or if you're watching porn?
It sounds like watching porn.
Okay, that's good. I mean, sorry. I mean, it should be done on both ends, but no, I'm kidding. This is a weird thing, right? So like, I'm a big proponent of, like, we call it, like, right to privacy. So what people do in their own privacy and things, probably I really don't give a crap.
As long as
I don't want to
nobody's
know.
getting hurt, right?
Yeah, no, as long as nobody's getting hurt.
Yep.
So, the fact that we keep trying to come back and attack pornography each and every time, it's really funny to me that this is always the issue that I always try to bring up first,
Yep.
because it just doesn't. I mean, it might be a work for a couple of years, but it always falls down.
And
It keeps
and that's the thing is they even said, like, as they were passing it, they were like, well, we can come back in 2 years and tweak it. So I have a feeling it's not going to last very long and people are going to be upset. So
right, but I mean, but the thing is, it's like, I've been complaining about this ever since the beginning of 2025. But I've not been able to watch any porn living in Florida because we states have basically passed laws. The Florida's passed, of the verification. So my only place I know does not allow me to view that stuff. So I am just stuck.
that's not the
know.
America I want to live in. That isn't what fucking free speech is.
Right. I have to
It's
use
not?
like my imagine. I have to use like my imagination,
Yeah.
and that's the problem. I don't have
The
very good
old
ones.
Sears catalog.
That's not even a thing anymore.
Oh no!
Nobody
you're
knows
right.
what that is.
Oh, you're right.
What
I'm
is-
old. Oh no. Okay. Well, we'll see how that goes.
But I think a lot of people. This is just a weird thing that's going to try to reduce the amount of people using internet and things, and probably labeling more things as porn.
Yeah.
That's the idea. Is that, like I said, they don't. What is porn?
Exactly.
How do you describe porn? The answer is I don't know, but I know when I see it.
And so it's funny because Texas is going through this on a even larger scale right now.
Mhm.
And I was watching one of their representatives like, well, under this, my favorite book, Lonesome Dove, could be banned. And it's like, yep, you dipshit.
Yep.
What'd you expect? The Bible can be banned, and it will be. Like, not because I think it's actually offensive, but because I need to prove you to the point that what is offensive to one person isn't to another.
Yeah, but they never ban like romance novels,
Right.
and
That's- Those aren't offensive. They're just trash. Most of those are just horribly written trash. A lot of fanfics are better. So that's all I have really for North Dakota. Tommy, do you have any Florida news? Florida?
No.
No. Excellent.
Nothing that, worth note that for this podcast. So
Excellent. Al said he was going to be late, but come on, man. We're at 20 minutes. I hope he's watching this live while he's doing errands. Actually, no, I don't hope he's doing that. The Trump administration deports a 2-year-old, an American citizen.
yeah,
The federal judge said that a 2-year-old American citizen was removed from the country with, quote, no meaningful process. And the reason we keep bringing this up is because if they don't think they'll use it against you or people you know and care about someday, you're a fool, because they will. And if you don't, if the only people you know are white, holy shit, go out and touch grass. This is horrible. And
Yeah.
like, I don't even know where, like, how are we standing for this? I don't know what to do anymore. Occupy Washington. That's my new thing. We have to build a shanty town in Washington and occupy it until they give in.
Right. These are the things, right, where it's like in the past when we had these kind of situations, right? These are what we call like the anchor children, right?
Correct.
Because the idea of we still don't want to separate kids. Now we're sending children across the border, I guess. But is this the same one? There's so many kids getting deported.
Yeah.
And I'm getting my things mixed up. Where sometimes it's like we just have children separated from their parents, and they're getting something getting deported that we don't have a system in place to take care of all these children.
Right.
Right. So is this one of those? I can't remember.
Probably.
Okay.
Or it's either that it's either that or straight up indifference, which is worse. Like deliberate indifference is a legitimate thing that they. So coming from a background in law enforcement, I'm sorry, I got better, I promise. there is a thing in corrections and custody specifically called deliberate indifference. And so, like, say for instance, if I handcuff an inmate, and this works for anybody who might have to handcuff somebody.
Mhm.
If they say the cuffs are too tight, I can't feel my fingers, and I say, shut up, I don't care. Even if he's lying, that's bad. You got to check. You always make sure you can fit a little pinky in there. Come on, guys. And then check the fan for function, wiggle it around, and that's fine. But if that's actually happening, and you say, oh, fuck it, I don't care, and he has to like get a hand amputated and shit, or a finger amputated, that's deliberate indifference, and you're liable for it. And that has absolutely happened. And so this is exactly what's happening with all of these cases as well. Like, the I just followed orders thing is not going to work when a judge was like, well, you were trained about deliberate indifference. Don't you think it's deliberately indifferent to deport a 2-year-old child without any meaningful like reason? So
this is extremely concerning.
Right.
So
yeah, and they're just going, like, they've already, so like, oh, it's not like, oh, it's just going to be the bad immigrants. Well, no, then now all these people are like, well, I have to pick all my own fruits and vegetables at 4 a.m. Yeah, no shit. And then now they're not letting people into Harvard. And they're just going to expand that to be, it'll be eventually no foreign exchange students.
I mean, that's the thing where, people have an idea of what an illegal immigrant is sometimes.
Yep.
And it's not what you think,
Exactly.
And, you might think they're just, everybody's just running across the border and, trying to get their backs wet or whatnot. Okay, yep. But no, there's just other cases, and I've worked with quite a few illegal immigrants back when I was living in the Keys.
Sure.
And some of them are just as white as you.
Yeah.
It was a legal immigrant from South Africa. And I'm not even, but I mean, I'm talking legitimately. He literally just came in on a tourist visa. He loved this place so much and or student visa, just decided to stay. And,
and frankly, that's what this country should be.
Yeah.
We'd be like, yeah, you're welcome to stay, especially Florida. It's party town. The party never ends. Stay in Florida.
But because he was an illegal immigrant, like this guy, he was a skinny, like white guy. He kind of looked like Adrian Brody a little bit, in your brain. But he also had issues with like diabetes, so he couldn't get the medication he needed. I mean, he lived it for like 10 years, so he was self-medicating, giving himself insulin shots. And then, yeah, I mean, it was bad. That's really bad.
That's
because
really
he couldn't have access to. You can access to some of the healthcare stuff. He still had access, but only through emergency means. So,
jeez,
yeah,
that's crazy. I've only worked with them through the process of, like, being in law enforcement, and I've never really had a problem with an illegal immigrant.
Yeah.
Well, people don't know this, but a lot of like sanctuary cities were actually thought up by the FBI.
Oh, really?
And like local big like homicide police departments, like New York City Police Department was one of the people who came up with the sanctuary city thing. And the whole reason behind it is that, as soon as they'd get into these minority neighborhoods where a bunch of them are, okay, you go to a minority neighborhood and where there's a bunch of immigrants, some illegal, some not, and there's a murder, right?
Right.
Well, as soon as the cops show up, like, everybody's like, oh, I don't want to get deported. Well, I want to solve the murder. I don't give a shit about you deporting you. And that's where it originally came from, and is because they were so scared to talk to the police from being deported that, like, even though they were like, yeah, I definitely saw that murder and I would tell you everything, but if I go back to my own country, I'm going to be murdered. So I can't talk to you.
Yeah.
And so they were like, well, that's fine. We don't give a shit about you can stay here because you haven't committed any crimes and you're helping us solve a crime. We want you here. That was the whole point. So It just really sucks to see that, like, liberal sanctuary cities were thought up by the FBI and New York City Police Department.
they really have a lot more problems with crime management in these areas overall. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot more things going to be unreported. Once it stays in these fields, it's going to be it's kind of like Las Vegas. When you have crimes in Las Vegas, it stays in Las Vegas. That's what I was told. So
Sure.
don't get involved.
Right.
So mhm.
This next story has got me concerned. And it is that Donald Trump and the Trump admin are tapping Palantir to create a master database on every American.
Don't we already have this?
Kinda, sort of. It's kind of like what Social Security is. This sounds like it's gonna go way farther and just be more survey. Like this is like right on. Like everybody talked about how like Democrats are gonna create a registry for your guns, and then they're gonna know who has the guns. Well, this is them literally creating a registry of that plus every literal other thing about you. Why do you think they repealed the $200 tax stamp on silencers? So they know exactly who has silencers, and they want more people to buy silencers so they know who to track.
I mean, yeah. So this is, I guess, is really concerning. Of course, it is like a third party company, so I do have,
Palantir is run by Peter Thiel.
Oh,
so that is also a huge concern because he is Elon Musk, but not as stupid and much more quiet about it. And honestly, way scarier than Elon Musk is too. He basically handpicked and groomed JD Vance to be vice president, and so it's all just cronyism and making deals with their friends for all the money and spending all of the money that we pay in tariffs to surveil ourselves. It's awesome. Yeah. It's awesome, so, guys.
It is. I have a weird feeling about this one, because like I myself feel that a lot of social media, big data, big corporate companies already have our information.
Yep. Facebook definitely already has a system like this.
Yep. Facebook has a system like this. Google has a system like this. And for the most part, a lot of companies, these big companies, will sell your data, right? And about your interests and about your things, right? It's not complicated. I've had friends who work in tech industries where they're like, yeah, to get like a batch of big data about like a certain area, and you can see what all the interests are and everything. You can actually isolate them down to even individual households.
Yep.
It's not unusual, right? So this is already a thing that already exists in the public space. I mean, in like in like big corporate situations. Privatized. Thank you. But now it's going in towards like the government things. So I'm like, it feels kind of weird,
It feels like, come on, why? Yeah. And so from a business standpoint, like I've had people come to my business and be like, listen, we can collect data and then we'll pay you for the data we collect on your customers. And then you'll also have access to it. And then you get a cut when we sell it. And I'm like, holy shit. No wonder everybody does this because it's a ton of money and you don't have to do anything. So.
Yeah. And, it's a lot of those. It's like, what is it? There's like that thermostat thing. Do you remember? It was like a digital one.
The Nest one.
The Nest one, yeah. So as part of their side business, you can say that they take your information about your habits and stuff. They monitor your systems, and they can sell it to like, I don't know, GE or something to know your particular usages and temperatures.
What time how long do they have the lights on during the day? What kind of lights? How much power are these lights drawing? Stuff like that.
So so we have these like cool like Internet of Things in your household. All these cool little things, but they're all just collecting information. And what they're doing with the information, I don't know. But they're packaging up and selling it to whoever wants to buy it.
Yes,
that's how they make money in the dealer.
This is just the ultimate data collection thing. Just so you're aware. It's a cell phone for our audio listeners. So yeah, and. It's just going to be one of those things of, why do you need this? Why do you need to know everything? Stay out of my life. That's already why I don't like Facebook and Google. Stay out of my life.
Yeah.
Okay. Peter Thiel sucks, by the way. Real bad. He's part of that like doomsday billionaire group like Elon Musk is, where he's got like a bunker, and I also believe he has a ton of kids.
Yeah, like those tech bro billionaires, they live in a different world than we live in. So in their eyes, we should probably like privatize everything, right? If your freedoms and everything, and they want to have their own little goddamn islands of control and stuff, and it's just it's madness because they don't see the world in real life,
right? Ah, there it is. There's the picture I was looking for.
That's pretty good.
So, this isn't the actual story I was going to talk about, but that's hilarious too. You should not drink raw milk, by the way. It is full of bacteria and other things, and just look it up. You should not drink raw milk. It's pretty gross. The Department of Health, which Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is the secretary for, released a report, so to speak, on children's health. Except there are 7 straight up made up sources in it, and like 21 or just a boatload of other erroneous sources as well, including one person who is like a doctor and does reporting on this, but was like, I never said or published that. That's not mine. And then all of the actual academic research shows that a bunch of it was AI generated, which, of course, because the Secretary of Health he can't have his team do any actual work. They just want to AI generate it. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, so this is, definitely one of the concerns, right? Is they're using these kind of things as justifications. And it's all fake, all right? So this is all fake bullshit. And thanks to, like things like ChatGPT, it's not correct. Its job is just to make it look like it's correct. Sometimes it's correct, sometimes it's not. But this is the problem. People use these technologies as proof, and then you generate these kind of nonsense. And you want to take your government. Okay, so this is going to sound a bit unhinged, but part of the things that they're trying to do is they're trying to shut down independent agencies from checks and balances, right?
Correct.
These are called, like, in the government, like inspector generals, right? Their whole point is to help check, making sure things are right and things are done, in a proper way. And Donald Trump fired them, like all of them. So these are the things that this kind of behavior is, it's gonna be, I don't say the downfall of our civilization, but trusting AI and trusting these things without having actual humans checking things is a real bad thing.
It's bad.
And I hope that, like, I'm happy that I saw, RFK Jr. drink raw milk. I hope that the man gets simultaneous Campylobacter and Salmonella poisoning, but his body is probably so full of, the bad stuff. He's immune, so
right. Yeah, he was swimming in toxic sewage.
Him and his kids, him and his grandkids.
Yes, he's fully submerged one of his grandkids.
So I'm like,
and then 20 years later, he became the Toxic Avenger.
If he's still alive, then he probably will be.
Caroline Levitt, who I hate, she's horrible. She is a mean-spirited bitch. She called all these formatting issues. The fact that, like, she is the Secretary of Press and holding press conferences, and then gets up on stage and people are like, you're the Secretary of Press and you're holding the press conference, and then she's like, well, you have to ask somebody else that.
Yeah,
bitch, why are you holding a press conference then? Get out of here, fucking press secretary Barbie.
Like, I get it, your job is damage control, and half the time is you just make shit up. So it really,
why even bother having the press there though? You're just wasting those people's time.
Right. And if you only keep people in the press there that are showing favor to the current administration, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want people to challenge you. You know, so the idea is that you actually, as a person, are making your position weaker.
Yes.
So, so this is like one of those. It's insane. So it makes that people don't want to trust what you're trying to say, and for the most part, it because of all the stupid shit that this administration is doing, it's making you, Caroline Levitt, your job, basically pointless.
Yeah, way harder, way more pointless. And just they have no credibility, at all. So I don't know, who. 6 months from now, when this is all still happening, because unfortunately that's the world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
It's still just going to be the same, but we're just like, when is the bottom going to fall out of this fucking thing? So that's part of the problem. But Twitter guy got a black eye.
Oh yeah.
What was that about? Elon Musk black eye. Oh yeah. Oh, and he was tweaking balls too. Elon Musk high in Oval Office.
The man is always high.
This.
Yeah, all right.
Today it's about a man named Elon.
Elon Musk,
oh my
the
God.
world's richest man, once again in the Oval Office. The ball cap reads Doge. The T-shirt, the Doge father.
And Elon has worked tirelessly helping lead the most sweeping and consequential government.
Go on.
I'm not hearing anything on my side, and
You're not hearing anything on yours? Can you hear
no.
anything
in
now?
generations.
The event marks the official end of Musk's time running Doge, the so-called Department of Government Efficiency. Says Donald Trump, Doge has saved the U.S. hundreds of
it's only playing on the stream.
Well, and I thought I'd give it to Elon as a presentation from our country. Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
But Musk's work has been cast by countless as brutal, heartless, and at times flat out bizarre. Yes! From his over-the-top stage energy to this salute.
Oh, yeah, that happened. Remember when he did that?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I remember when he did the Nazi salute. It's not a Roman salute. It's not. Oh well. Twitter guy got a black eye. There was a scuffle in the White House, apparently. So, White House. Oops, shit house. That's funny. White House scuffle.
I mean, is this the same one? I saw news reports that him
Steve Bannon said that Elon Musk and Scott Bessent got physical, and apparently Scott Bessent punched him in the face.
Yeah, Scott Bessent is the treasurer or whatever.
Yep, he's also kind of a huge dipshit.
I mean, you should know that what administration to work for. That makes it easy. So, but yeah, so there are arguments, where I remember it's like, this man promised billions and billions of dollars of cuts, hasn't even gotten that far into it. Yep. So what's the point of his, anything he's doing?
It was all grift. It was all
basically
grift. All a grift. I can't believe Scott Bessent didn't know it was a grift. Aww. Poor guy. Elon also said that his 5-year-old son punched him, and that he told him to punch him.
Yeah,
Make me strong, son.
When you're a man that age with a slightly deformed, thing, you gotta do something to get off.
His penis.
That's right.
He's got a weird penis. He got a botched penis, allegedly.
Yep, I saw it.
Wow. Good
yeah.
for you.
Thank you. It was weird.
See if I can find this lady.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were looking up.
No. I was like, no. I wanted to see this. We're all gonna die, lady. We're all gonna die.
And he's been very clear about it. He's been good about it.
Hang on, this is. I can't understand this guy.
He's been good about it. In 4 months, he's made it in.
When we're talking about the corrections in this reconciliation bill, again, it's corrections of overpayments and people that have not been eligible for.
So This is a common thing you're going to hear, by the way, in defense of this Medicaid bill, because they're just like, no, the states are overbilling, and this. No, they're not. This is how it was designed. This is why it works. Like, the federal government, like Tommy said, is there to shore up the amount if a state can't pay as much. This is why blue states pay in more to red states. And though even red states elect red politicians only hurt red states.
These programs,
yeah, that's
by
right.
law,
So,
as
it
is
and they don't help red states.
Currently written. So when you are arguing about illegals that are receiving Medicaid benefits,
illegals receiving like they can't. You cannot get those benefits without a fucking social security number. There's a few emergency services they can get, but that's about it.
Yeah, just the emergency hospital.
They are not eligible, so they will be coming off. So,
and she's just grinning like, oh, I know so much better than these people. This is the same thing that Julie Fedorchak does in North Dakota. This is the same type of person. She is just a Trump robot repeating the same talking points that she got on a PowerPoint when she took office.
People are not. Well, we all are going to die.
See, and that's the thing is like no, like even though that's what you want, that's not what we want, and we don't want those people to die. And she's just like, whatever, fuck them, they're brown. So, I can't stand these people anymore.
This is awful.
Yeah, they do not give a shit unless you are white and have money. They just don't give a shit about you. And I hate to tell this to some people, like if you are white and think you have money, you are probably not. If you've ever had to take an Uber somewhere, you are not white and had money.
Yeah, okay. I mean, like it's one of those things where, like, if you look at the current tax breaks and stuff, it's only going to help you out if you make more than like $140,000 a year.
And it's really not going to help until you make more than like $550 or something a year.
Yeah.
And then for those people, they get a whole 2.8%, while the poorest of us get a tax increase. How does that make any fucking sense? So, this one I like. President Taco. What do we think about President Taco here?
All right, so if you know President Taco, Trump always chickens out, right? Is that the acronym?
That's the acronym. Trump always chickens out.
I love it.
And it's kind of true, because that's basically every time there's actual pressure from people who are smarter than him, he's like, okay, I'm sorry. And he has straight up said, like, he believes the stock market is a indicator of how well a president is doing. So he legitimately like took it as like a point of pride to be like, oh no, I can't believe it. Like, bro, you lost me $6,000 that I'm never getting back, like ever.
Yeah.
Like, I have to put that money back in, and I'm not the only person. Like, if you have a retirement savings, like, I know that probably sounds rare to anybody who's younger than me, but it probably lost fucking money because that guy's tariffs are horrible.
You know, even if you're trying to do a very safe, conservative kind of retirement, like, I'm just going to put my money in like S&P 500. So as long as the economy goes up, I go up, right? But, you know, if you have like a IRA, you only can put it in like
6,500 a year, or it's 5,600 a year or something like that. It's not very much. Trust me, that's what I use.
Yeah. You know, so the idea is that, you know, hopefully, you know, if you invest conservatively, you know, that was $6,500, which is still a lot of money, and sometimes you can't afford to put the entire thing in, right? So, but as long as you put something in, but you'll see your losses. You know, if it goes up 3 to 5%, you know, you saw it just dash in your dreams. It's going to take a couple more years before it comes back up. You know, It sucks.
Yep, it's horrible. Yep, like literally cut probably 3 years off of my retirement.
Yeah.
Like in one day, like in one morning, essentially.
But yeah, so
super cool. So somebody should definitely always have that power to do for an entire country.
So this is where, you know, I don't want to keep going tangents about tacos. I want to stay on the taco train, but there's also a concept known as the bond market,
Yes.
right? So a bond is basically like it's kind of like a piece of debt that, you know, gets issued, and then basically after some amount of time, you will then get whatever the money back plus interest, right? So that's the concept was known as, like, the United States offer was known as treasury bonds, right? And right now they're considered one of the safest kind of investments you can get.
Yep.
They're also very low, you know, low rate of returns. But right now, you know, it take about like 20 or 30 years for your treasury bonds. But I think I was reading that they're right now at like an all-time high in terms of yield, right? Which is like 5%, almost 5.5, 6% or something like that, which is insane.
Right. That's usually like a really good CD.
Yeah. So, because basically that's what a CD is doing. Is you buy a CD from the bank and then they use it to buy treasury bonds.
Bingo.
So, you know,
finances. We should do a finance podcast. I'll get my.
We should not do a finance podcast. We don't know shit about anything.
I'll get my business partner on. He's great at this.
Good, because he's better than me. I only. But yeah, going back to Taco. All right, Mr. Taco.
President Taco.
President Taco. Do we have the clip of him mentioning how upset he is by?
Oh, I can definitely find that.
Okay, if you haven't heard this by now, it is still one of the funniest things. Where they. Go ahead.
I saw a really good. Oh yeah, here it is. I saw a really good TikTok. Oh.
Hello, everybody. How are you? You all ready? Happy about that situation. I think we're.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week.
Oh, you saw the head turn. He was just like, ooh, I heard taco.
What's your response to that?
I kick out.
It's so good.
I kick out because I'm a WWE Hall of Famer. Also, fuck the WWE.
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because
look at her. Look at her over here. She's laughing at him.
I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number. And I said you have to open up your whole country. And because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff.
Oh, so it is a tax.
6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead.
Right.
We had
This country was stone cold dead 6 months ago. My sales were higher and I had more everything.
Dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that. And in many ways, I think we really helped China tremendously because, you know, they were having great difficulty because we were basically going cold turkey with China. We were doing no business because of the tariff, because it was so high. But I knew that. But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question.
Me of every old gay CO I worked at the prison with. Like,
I mean,
he's just an older gay dude. Like, I'm pretty sure Donald Trump is just an older bisexual dude. He's got the same mannerisms. He should just. I was telling my wife, I was like, man, you know, if he wasn't such a crazy, like, horrible old person, he'd be an endearing old man.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know, I never understood this man's charms as a president.
No.
But
he's a great TV host.
That's right.
Yeah. So he hates this taco nickname. He hates it.
Such a nasty thing to call
him. That's a nasty. I hate when he does that. It's so unprofessional when he says, like, don't ask questions like that. It's so nasty. You're so nasty. The ABC is so nasty. Like, don't, dude, why do you talk like that?
I'm sorry, Grandpa. Don't beat me.
That's exactly it. So, Liberation Day is probably... Oh, God, this fucking guy. Gavin Newsom is also not... He doesn't care about people either. He also just cares about money. So, go ahead. Call President Taco President Taco. Because it's also apparently starting to really bother him.
I thought he liked tacos.
No, he can't. No, because they're ethnic.
Did you see the one where he was eating like a taco salad bowl and kind of failing?
No.
It was from the last generation. Yeah, because it was part of this yeah. You can probably look it up. Trump taco salad.
I love it. Oh my god! In one of those crispy bowls.
Yeah,
I love those.
It was a long time ago because that's how long I remember it.
He looks like he's having an okay time. Back when he had an honest smile.
Yeah, this is
No, see, now all I'm getting is President Taco, which is good. Oh, hang on. Reddit's here. There it is, yep. I love Hispanics! Good for you.
Yeah?
Why did you deport all of them, then?
I love my Goya beans, and then throwing cans of Goya beans into the crowd. It's weird.
Wait. Donald Trump is eating a taco salad on top of a bikini-clad photo of his ex-wife, Marla Maples. What the fuck? This guy cannot be for real. Okay, hang on.
This is 9 years ago.
Yeah, okay. Well, that would make sense. Trump. Hang on. Trump. This is live internet detective. Trump taco. Marla Maples. Yep. Photo of Marla Maples in bikini spotted in Donald Trump. Yep. Caught creeping on Marla Maples. I love Hispanics. Yep.
Jesus Christ.
How is this guy for real?
Yeah, that's.
How is this guy for real?
I forgot all this crap.
He's literally got creepy photos of his ex-wife while he's taking promo photos of a taco salad yelling, I love Hispanics.
That's why we're sending them all back where they came from.
You people voted for this. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, twice.
Oh, I saw one of the most common statements on women's profile pics in Tinder right now is, no Trump voters.
Yep. I see a lot of those.
This is something I've been really advocating for is I think South Korea, we should do what South Korea did. Not in the same way because theirs had some anti-trans rhetoric in there a little bit. But I think women should just stop fucking dudes until they stop voting for these pieces of shit. Same in Russia. Do it in Russia too. Really tank that birth rate.
I mean, like, it's a weird one where, like, you know, in some of the different dating apps, you can all set, like, you know, what, you know, leaning you are, right?
Yep.
So it's pretty common now that instead of putting down that you're a conservative or whatnot, you just put down, you know what? I'm not political. Because you're such a coward to show off your thing.
No, yeah, I'm not political. You know what? I just don't engage. I don't believe in voting. I don't believe in the government. Like, what can they do to me?
But like at the end of the day, yeah, you know, I get it. You know, politics is not like the most important thing in your life. But you probably also should, you know, I'm not saying you should be true to yourself, but you know, it's weird.
Yeah.
You know, some things are not that. You have to figure out what is the most important thing.
I really hate that. So the problem is so many people in America treat it like it's a sports team. Right. And not the fact that it has people's rights and livelihoods attached to it.
Yeah.
So,
because if it doesn't affect you, so why should I pay attention, right?
But also, the fact of the matter is like one of the reasons we got to where we are is because people stopped paying attention to politics. People didn't take democracy seriously. So we kind of took our foot off the gas of that. And now I think people are realizing that they are the ones that have to get back on that horse and educate people and talk to people. And why? We have a podcast here. So,
that's right.
But yeah, I mean, the idea of like people have been saying make politics boring again. And I was like, now that's something I can get behind. That seems like something that seems okay to me.
Yeah. And
about the biggest controversy in politics should be like, I can't believe they're adding a roundabout to Mandan, North Dakota. Those poor old German folks don't know what a roundabout is.
It really is a thing where it's like, we live in an age where, you know, the politics should just be, we take the different facts and then we see different sides of things, right?
Yep.
So like I understand, you know, like even myself, I understand, you know, there is some merits to what conservatism should be, right?
Oh, agreed, 100%, because that's definitely how I was raised.
Yeah, but we're not living these days in an age where the conservatives, the modern conservatives, are not, you know, we call it the true conservatives. It's just MAGA,
Right,
and that's the problem.
And that's why I don't like to like blanket and dump all over Republicans, because a lot of these so-called people, they're not even Republicans. They're authoritarian politicians parading as Republicans.
Yeah, and that's the problem, right? Because we're no longer living in a democracy,
right?
So you know,
right. Tim Walz said you should bully the shit out of the president, and I agree with that. One of the tenets of nonviolent resistance is relentless ridicule of your opponent. So, you got bad hair, your ass is too big, and your penis is tiny. President Taco, take that. I don't really feel any hatred toward anybody, and so that was like, I don't feel good insulting anyone, but that felt good.
It's important. You know, these people should be named and shamed, right?
Yeah, like Stephen Miller, like that dude is younger than I am, and he looks horrible. So like, I was watching Internet Today, and those guys are great. You should watch Internet Today. Is like, hate definitely doesn't do you any favors.
Stephen Miller.
Yeah, he's the absolute ghoul behind the immigration.
What do you mean he's only 39?
Oh, so he's a year older than me. Never mind. Okay. He looks like hell for 39.
You know, like, I'm surprised that they haven't tapped. You know, you're watching Arrested Development, like, you know, Tony Hale, you know, who does Buster.
Yeah.
Same looking dude.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah.
Elon Musk is stealing his wife, by the way.
I mean, that's good.
No, she was one of the. She worked for Trump in the first administration.
Oh, okay.
And she was big on like deporting everybody, even though she is a minority herself.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
And now Elon Musk is like stealing her from Stephen Miller, which is really funny. And so the actual, so she's taking a full-time job at X or whatever, or for Elon Musk as his assistant or PR person or some bullshit or whatever. But she has to leave Washington and relocate, and it's like, oh, he's just stealing Stephen Miller's wife because he's a fucking little freak.
Like, the fun one about watching Stephen Miller is when the man gets challenged on things, he just like raises his voice.
Yeah,
and
he does exactly what my parents do. Where I'm just gonna talk louder than you. I'm gonna talk louder than you up here, and I'm up here, and just because I'm louder, that means I'm winning the argument. Yeah, no, that's
it louder and faster. I'm like, these are insufferable people.
Yep.
So like, I would like to imagine that, you know, I think everybody's like, maybe this is where the black guy comes from. You know, how dare you take my wife? And then he takes a little claw arm and then just like swings it at him.
Yeah. Like on his scepter.
On his little scepter.
Yeah, like his little walking staff.
How tall is this man?
Excellent.
Oh, he's 5'10". Oh, never mind.
King of the manlets.
How tall is Cash Patel?
Have you seen the So, Cash Patel. That was a Britt Baker, I think. Britt Baker.
Like, I like, because I know that was the thing that was coming up. Because they say that he's like 5'9". Like, I could believe it as a man.
I put in Britt Baker, the wrestler, because I don't know. Oh, I'll spell Cash Patel wrong.
I mean, yeah, you can just type in like Cash Patel height. I guess it's a common internet thing that's going on around. But the man's like I don't. It looks fake.
This is not fake. The thing I'm showing.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, he's a and like, I don't give a shit if you're short or not. That doesn't make you a good cop. I've known plenty of like 4'11" lady cops who were fucking awesome. And so, but like Kash Patel's a freak for a lot of other reasons.
That's why we're making fun of him. And also, he should know better as a short man, because I am a short man, and you're supposed to sit at the front of the chair.
Correct.
You never sit all the way back.
Correct. I'm deep in this recliner right now, because if not, I'd have to move my camera. And I'm only like 6'1". I'm not that tall. Like, there are so many dudes that come into my store that are like 6'8", 6'9", and I'm like, Jesus, what do they feed you? Yeah.
When I'm playing cards at the store, there's one woman who's there. I think she's like 6'3", and
nice.
She loves. Well, the thing is, she's mostly legs. So if I have to play like directly against her, it's like she is literally kicking me the entire time. So I have to keep my legs spread apart so that she can go in.
Oh, that's really good.
It's okay.
Oh, that's a very unique problem, and I like it. Oh, that's really funny.
I don't like sitting across the room. But, you know.
Oh, that's funny. That's how you break the ice. Now it's your turn. All right, I spread mine for you. Your turn for me, baby.
Oh, because
respectfully, just for this Magic game.
Loves swinging the leg. She loves swinging the legs. I'm like, no, you're a tall person. You have to have responsibility.
Yeah. The world is not built for you if you're tall. I have found that out.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
No.
Monkey couldn't figure out the OBS stuff, so
no worries.
He did not want to join us on Video Ninja, so that's fine. We'll get him sorted out. Yeah, this has been Crying is a Free Action podcast. Thank you all for being here on our new Sunday time frame. We're gonna have a few things going up on the website here in the next week or two, probably. It's really busy for me at work the last couple of weeks, so I've been trying to work on some articles here and there. I should definitely bounce one off of Tommy and Al, because I just have the conclusion left, and they can write that. AI could write that for RFK, so we'll do that for me too. We'll be here the same time next week. I might be on doing a little guerrilla stream later this week, because I want to test some stuff, and I have some hardware that I want to test as well. So keep on the lookout for that. As always, join us at easyvotend.com. We're also on YouTube. You can find it at Easy Vote North Dakota. And hopefully this will go to Spotify with no problems, and you will be able to hear us there. And we're going to try to keep bringing it to you every week. I enjoy doing it. It's kind of cathartic. I enjoy talking with Tommy and Al about this sort of stuff, and we all got to do our parts, everybody. That's the real fact. This is a real place with a real problem. So we got to get to it. Alrighty, Tommy, you got anything for him?
Everybody, if you're into gaming and stuff, coming out this week, it's Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering. So go to your local card stores, game stores. They're probably gonna be sold out, but I'm definitely gonna be playing in a pre-release.
Oh yeah,
this Friday.
I'm going to be running my pre-releases, but my business partner is like, yeah, I'm showing up to play, and I'm like, good, sick. They'll love that. So yeah, maybe I'll even do a couple of little short videos for that I'll put together. Oh, I am also working on a prepared video, a little tiny documentary about how Julie Fedorchak lied about cutting Medicaid. So I already got her stuff from her town hall all cut up with her line-by-line reading of how, you know how Republicans do it. They lie. So, not Republicans, authoritarian politicians. So, alrighty, everybody. That's been Crying is a Free Action podcast. Have a great week.
Yep, thank you.